Imagine you're at school and everyone is trading snacks at lunchtime. One kid has cookies, another has juice boxes, someone else has chips. Pretty soon, trading snacks becomes so popular that kids start making deals about snacks they don't even have yet. Don't worry, I'll give you 2 cookies tomorrow if you give me a juice today. And the other kid agrees. At first, it's fun. Everyone's getting snacks, even if they don't have any right now. But here's the problem. What if tomorrow comes and the kid who promised cookies doesn't have any? Suddenly, that juice deal looks pretty bad. This is kind of what happened with the housing market in 2008. Instead of cookies and juice, people were trading houses and loans. Banks were handing out home loans to almost anyone, even people who couldn't really afford them. Why? Because banks thought housing prices would always go up. If someone couldn't pay, they could just take the house and sell it for more money. Easy, right? But then, just like kids promising cookies they didn't have, these loans started piling up with risk. Banks didn't just keep the loans, they bundled them together, like mixing all the snacks into one big bag, and sold them to investors. They called them mortgage-backed securities. And investors around the world bought them, thinking houses are safe, everyone needs a home. But here's where the snack game went wrong. Too many people had promised cookies they couldn't deliver. Too many loans were given to people who couldn't actually pay them back. When people started missing payments, the whole snack trading game collapsed. Housing prices fell. Suddenly, banks were left with a giant bag of rotten snacks nobody wanted. That crash spread everywhere because almost every big bank, company, and even governments were holding those bags of snacks. The trading game that started with one kid at lunch spread through the whole school, and when it collapsed, everyone was in trouble. When the snack game collapsed, it didn't just stop at the kids trading at one table. It spread like a chain reaction through the entire cafeteria. One kid couldn't pay back, which meant another kid didn't get their juice, which meant they couldn't pay someone else for chips. Pretty soon, no one trusted anyone's snack promises anymore. And without trust, the whole game fell apart. That's exactly what happened in 2008. Once people realized many of these loans were bad, no one wanted to touch those mortgage-backed securities. Banks stopped trusting each other because they weren't sure which banks were sitting on the biggest pile of rotten snacks. Lending between banks froze. Investors panicked and pulled money out. Stock markets crashed. What started in housing spread to almost every part of the economy. Regular people felt it the hardest. Millions lost their homes when they couldn't pay their mortgages. Millions more lost their jobs when companies collapsed or cut back. Families who thought they were safe suddenly found themselves with no house, no savings, and no idea what to do next. Governments around the world had to step in. Imagine the teachers stepping into the cafeteria to stop the chaos. They rushed to calm everyone down, promising extra snacks from the school kitchen so no one would go hungry. In the real world, this meant governments and central banks pumped trillions of dollars into the system. They bailed out banks, handed out emergency loans, and even took over failing companies just to keep the financial system alive. But here's the thing. Even though the cafeteria slowly returned to order, a lot of kids didn't forget what happened. Many lost trust. Many felt the game was rigged, that the biggest snack traders, the banks, got rescued, while regular kids were left cleaning up the mess. And that frustration reshaped the way people thought about money, fairness, and the economy for years to come. Some new rules were put in place to make sure the snack game didn't get so out of control again. Banks were told to be more careful about who they gave loans to. Investors were warned about believing that something was safe just because everyone else thought it was. And regulators promised to keep a closer eye on the trading games happening in the background. Still, the lesson of 2008 is clear. If too many people make promises they can't keep, eventually the whole system falls apart. Trust is the real currency that makes everything work. Without it, even the strongest-looking system can collapse overnight. So in conclusion, the 2008 financial crisis wasn't just about money. It was about trust, risk, and the danger of thinking things will always go up forever. It's a reminder that behind every complex financial system is something as simple as kids trading snacks. And if we forget that, we risk repeating the same mistakes. So if you found this breakdown helpful and want to learn more stories that make sense of money, finance, and the world around us, make sure you hit that subscribe button.